It's Jo Whiley on Radio 1, and it's time to say welcome to Radio 1 Madonna.
Hi.
Hello, thank you for doing this interview.
Sure.
Sarah Cox spoke to you the last time for Radio 1.
Yeah, she was really nice.
Yeah, and that was just before your wedding.
Right. Was I still denying it?
No, you weren't in denial.
At that point.
No. Did you seriously think a year later that none of your photographs from the wedding have been leaked at all, which I think is an amazing feat?
Well, I did put a lot of effort into making sure that wouldn't happen, so I'm glad
But it always happens. Virtually always. So I think you've really pulled it off.
It's not if you're a complete and utter Nazi about no one having cameras and knowing everyone who's at the wedding very well. And I mean, we went through a lot of trouble.
But you did have photographs taken.
Sure.
Presumably you sent out books to people and they chose.
We sent out books to people.
Yeah, books of photographs. Don't you do that? You send out books of photographs to people and they choose which ones they want?
No.
You just kept them all for yourself?
No one's seen the photographs. For that very reason. That's the reason none of them have snuck out. I still have them all.
Oh, and happy with them, I presume?
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, be honest with us. When you heard that a photographer, was it a photographer or a fan, had hidden inside the organ for an entire day, did that make you laugh?
Well, I really admired his chutzpah, I must say. It was a very, very, very cold day in Scotland, and apparently he had been hiding in the organ for a couple of days. So, if he got frostbite, then he deserves it.
Yeah. So more amused than annoyed about that.
Well, I was happy that he got caught because, I would have been really disappointed if something that was really private had been made public. Yeah.
I know.
Sure.
The lengths that people go to. It's just staggering. Absolutely staggering. One of the things, you've got a lot going on at the moment. One of the things is the best of. It's your second best of.
Right.
GHV2. Okay. Why that title as opposed to something?
Because it's to the point. We went through catchy titles, funny titles, and witty titles, and things like that. But at the end of the day, I just thought it was really modern and really succinct and to the point.
Yeah. And how did you go through the process of deciding which tracks were on there?
Listening to stuff over and over again. I mean, a lot of my old songs make me sick. So
do they?
Whatever ones did
Okay, so
make me
hang on.
sick.
Which ones are not on there?
I'm not telling you.
This used to be my playground. That's not on there. Fever's not on there.
No, I like Fever all right. But, the thing is, they had to have listening power for me. I had to be able to listen to them like 5 times in a row and think, this is really good. This is a well-written song. It's really well-produced. I can honestly say that not all my songs have been. I mean, some are better than others, and that's all there is to it. So the ones that I thought really stood the test of time in terms of well-written, well-produced, well-sung, all those things, those are the ones that made it.
Okay. American Pie's not on there. What was the reason for that?
The reason why is because I ended up putting it on my album, my last album, Music, at the end. It was sort of one of those things that a certain record company executive twisted my arm into doing. We won't name any names.
I thought that was impossible.
But, and I didn't, my gut told me not to do it, and then I did it, and then I regretted it, and so just for that reason, it didn't deserve to get on GHV2.
You regretted doing the song?
No,
right,
no, not at all. But
fine.
just it didn't really belong on my record, on my album.
Right.
It didn't. So therefore, it's being punished, and it's not allowed on GHV2.
Okay, fine. And why did you actually decide to put the album out anyway? Was that a record company decision, or was it just I've reached that time in my life, I'll put another one?
It was really kind of a mark for the end of the year, and it sort of went part and parcel with the tour.
Yeah.
Which is kind of. The tour was really a celebration of pretty much my last 3 records and what I've been doing since I did Evita, really.
Yeah.
So,
and why did you not put another single on there or record a new single?
Because it says greatest hits.
But it could have been a greatest hit.
Well, I'm going to save that for my next record, which I'm going to start recording in January. So
you're about to do some new stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. But all the papers were saying that was it. You'd stopped now and you were just doing nothing more.
When did you believe all the papers?
Right, so there's absolutely no truth?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so have you got ideas who you're working with on the next album?
Yes, I'm working with Mirwais again.
That was a genius stroke, though, working with him.
Yeah,
He's so brilliant.
He's so great, yeah. So I'm going to work with him again. And then I might work with this guy that I met when I was looking for some musicians to play with. His name is Stuart Price. Have you heard of him?
No.
He's the keyboard player.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he's in. He has a record out he's in a group called Les Rhythm Digital.
Oh, right, no, I know that.
Yeah, him.
Right.
So, because we started fooling around with remixes and redoing a lot of the tracks for the actual live show, and then we talked about working on stuff for my next album, and he's already working on music for me, so I'm going to try that collaboration as well.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Not yet.
Okay. And where are you recording that? In this country?
Here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do? How do you work? Do you tend to lock yourself in the studio and work very intensively and give yourself a fixed time limit? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you enjoy doing that?
I hit a stopwatch. Well, I like to do a lot of preparation work. So when I go into a recording studio, which is generally very expensive, I'm pretty prepared. So both Mirwais and Stuart have their own home studios. What I do is I go and work on the writing of it with them. And then we get all of the pieces and then we go into the big studio and record everything.
So I'm assuming that wasn't the last tour as well, because that was all this talk was around. She's not going out on tour again either. So there will be live dates from Madonna again.
Never say never. Mm-mm. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I would never say I was never going to do anything again. That's a stupid thing to say.
Okay. Who else are you listening to at the moment? I presume you're quite an avid fan of music.
To tell you the truth, because I've been away making a movie on location, and I ended up listening to old music like Dean Martin and Bobby Darin and old, Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong. I've been listening to old music more lately than current.
But that's not an influence. That won't have an influence on the album.
You never know.
You never say never. You don't do collaborations, do you? I was trying to think about duets or people that you've sung with in the past.
Oh, well, I do collaborate with other musicians. Definitely. Do I? No, I don't really like doing that. I don't. That's too gimmicky. I don't like you sing one verse, I'll sing another verse type of thing. You say potato, I'll say potato.
Bono must have phoned you up, though. Bono's phoned
He certainly has. I know. I turned that one down. I've even turned Frank Sinatra down. But the reason I turned Frank Sinatra down, more than the fact that I didn't want to do a duet with anyone, is because he wanted to do it in this really kind of detached way where, he was going to do his vocals, and then he was going to send me the tapes, and I was going to do mine, and it's too detached. And
no, that's a pointless task. It's about emotion if you get together and sing something.
Yeah.
So is there anybody you consider singing with? No.
Hasn't crossed my mind. Even Pavarotti's asked me to sing with him.
Okay, so how do you deal with it? Do you just say, nope, ain't gonna happen, or are you polite about it?
I like to lead people on.
So you're still waiting, you still go...
Yeah, because then they keep sending me flowers and stuff, trying to get me to do things. I get gifts and stuff. If you never say no, you just keep getting gifts. It's good.
Excellent.
Yes.
And, okay, so with the film, it was love, sex, drugs, and money, yeah?
So far. Guy's been known to change his mind, but... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it completed yet?
They're editing it right now.
Okay. And where did you actually film it?
In Malta and Sardinia.
Okay, so quite a nice way to spend your summer.
Ish. Have you been to Malta?
No, I've got relatives there, actually. I've seen photos. Not so.
Well, I think you should go there.
Okay, maybe I won't.
Or maybe
now.
you shouldn't. It has its charm. There's a lot of... There's a lot of beautiful beautiful old ruins, but it's really the whole island is really geared towards war.
Is it?
Yeah, they're kind of obsessed with war and explosions and stuff. Lots of wars happened there. Lots of people. I don't know if you know about it, but historically, it was an island that everybody fought over during the Crusades, the Turks, whatever, because it was a strategically placed island, and before when people just got around on boats, it was sort of the island everyone had to pass to get from the east or over to Western Europe. So it was a sought after island, so lots of wars took place on it, and so there's just forts everywhere. So I'm sure 500 years ago it was a very exciting place. But it's kind of, I think, well, everyone says that once the English left there, it kind of fell apart. So it's very disorganized, and
there's not much greenery, is there?
There's no green. Everything's made of sandstone. If you fly over it, it just looks like one big swordfish steak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very loud. It's very loud. They're always having explosions and stuff. They're always blowing off explosions.
What, testing stuff or just?
It's very Catholic, the island, and so they're always having the feast of this and the holy day of that, and as part of their celebration, they have really loud explosions. And also the house we rented was right next to a landing strip. So we went there right after we went to war in Afghanistan. And so I thought that we were under attack because this fighter jet was flying over the house, and at the same time these big huge explosions were going off. And it turns out there was a shooting estate on the other side of the house. Anyway, it's a very loud place.
So children slept really well then?
No one slept. That's what I think about Malta. Sardinia, on the other hand, was very beautiful.
Yeah, I've been to Corsica, which is great.
Yeah,
close by and
really
beautiful. Yeah, lovely place. So it was kind of an enjoyable experience working on the film.
Yeah, it was. It was great working with my husband and the crew. They were amazing. We were just one big wacky family. And it was very strenuous and very challenging, but it was good.
Okay, in what way was it challenging?
Because everything we shot was outside, so we were at the mercy of whatever Mother Nature had to give to us. So every day we would pray for sun, and most days we got it. And also we had to kind of pretend it was really hot and sunny and warm in the middle of summer when it was starting to turn and get cold. So I had to get in the ocean a lot.
Oh, nice.
And oh my goodness, it was cold. Lots of screaming and yelling.
Tell me what role you're playing, what you're doing in it.
I'm playing a very rich, privileged, unhappily married woman who kind of has an epiphany, so to speak, when she gets shipwrecked on an island with someone who she considers to be her inferior.
Who is?
He's played by an Italian actor called Adriano Giannini.
Okay.
And he's very good.
And it's very good. Okay. And it's actually a remake, isn't it, of a film from 1974?
Yeah. But it's quite different than the original at this point.
Okay. Well, is this guy's spin on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Terribly politically incorrect.
Okay, in what way? Why?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you. You just have to see the movie. It's good, though. It's really good.
Yeah, you're really happy with it?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm not editing it and I'm not the director, but from what I've seen, the dailies and stuff, and from just the experience of doing it, it seems like it's good. And
do you get a sense of when something's going really well and you know that it's going to turn out right?
I've been wrong before, but I have a good feeling about this. Yeah.
And is it stressful working with Guy?
Yeah.
I mean, as in because it's your husband.
It isn't. On the one hand, I probably knew more about everything that was going on than everybody else. On the other hand, you know, when you're related to the boss or you actually get worked harder than everybody else because you have to set an example. So and
they're less forgiving.
Oh yes, less forgiving, more demanding, and
how do you deal with that? Did you just that's 10 or?
I had to adapt to it. It was an adjustment for me. But I figured it out, and then once I figured it out, then everything was fine.
So you could go home at the end of the day and sit around the table and have.
Well, the hard part was changing. You know, was wearing the wife hat, knowing when to take off the wife hat and put on the actress hat. And there were often times when I would be pissed off in the wife role, but I had to forget about that. So when I was in the actress role, I could just get along with him on the set. And sometimes I would be pissed off with him in the actress role. And when I went home, I had to forget about that so I could be the wife. It was very schizophrenic.
And was he confused? He must have been.
Yeah, I think it was challenging for him too, but it was good. It was really good. I mean, we kept saying if this is either going to make or break our relationship, but we've said that about everything. About having a baby, about getting married, about this, about that, and so far everything's been good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Wow. So he must be dead chuffed with the movie as well.
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay. Is he in the edit suite? Is that what he's doing? He's part of the editing process.
Oh yeah. Yep, he's in there strangling the editor right now, probably.
Is he quite a control freak? Does he find it hard to step back? Or
I think he's very, he has a vision and he's very hands-on and he knows exactly what he wants to do. And I'm sure you've seen his films. They're very quirky and very specific.
Fantastic, yeah.
And I think, I think that a large part of what the movie ends up looking like has to do with the editing. And Guy's vision has to be part of that,
Yeah.
So.
How did you feel when you heard that the man who wrote about Princess Diana in a less than flattering light was writing a book about you?
Well, I mean, he's one of many people who have written an unauthorized biography about me. And so when I heard about it, which I actually heard about it a year ago, because he started sending these really formal, sickeningly sweet letters to everyone that I know, people that I work with, all my friends, and they were all ringing me up going, who is this person? And it was just like, oh, forget it, just ignore him. And I mean, he really went through my Rolodex, and that part was really annoying. And I ended up writing him a letter saying, you know, I'm not interested in you writing this book. I don't want to have anything to do with it, and please leave my friends alone.
Did he reply? Of course he didn't.
Well, I sent him a book that I thought that he might enjoy, and I thought that after he read the book, he might change his mind about writing the book. And he wrote me a letter back thanking me for the book, but obviously...
The book was?
The book was, it is called The Power of Kabbalah, and it's about the Kabbalah. It's sort of like a beginner's crash course in what it's all about. And it's very similar to sort of Isaac Newton's, one of his theories, and that is for every action there's a reaction. And I was sort of imploring him to take responsibility for his actions, which is to write things about people that aren't true. And that eventually, in some way, shape or form, it would come back around to him. But he either didn't read it or didn't care.
So are you angry with him, or do you despair about it?
I wouldn't say I despair about it. I think there was a point where I was angry about it because also there was another book that was coming out at the same time, and I had heard or I had read bits and pieces that were written about it, and of course it's infuriating. I would be a liar to say that it wasn't. And you know, I have a family now, and you know, of course, part of me says, "Oh, just leave me alone. I'm getting on with my life." And he couldn't possibly really have the real story on me because he never interviewed either myself or anyone who really knows me. So what's the point in publishing a book?
It's a very descriptive book. It's a very flowery book. For the purpose of research, I had to have
in other words,
it's
not a well-written book.
No, it's not. It's appalling. I mean, you do get the sense that he hasn't actually spoken to anybody that knows you. I think there are one or two people. But it's very descriptive, and you think you could not possibly have known, for example, what your grandfather looked like when he arrived in 19 whatever.
I didn't know what my grandfather looked like. How would he know? No, but listen, let's face it. We all know he wrote it for financial gain, and you know, the truth has very little to do with it. So,
were there people who did speak to him that you were disappointed with?
Yes.
And how did you deal with them?
No, I didn't deal with it at all. I just sort of made a note of it mentally, and you know, said a few disparaging remarks about them and got on with my life.
I guess that's all you can
do.
But
the people who spoke about me were people I haven't spoken to in so long, and they're not really in my life anymore. So, I wouldn't even have their phone number up to call them off and call them up and tell them off.
Bitch at them, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you get this all the time, sort of betrayal from people that?
Not all the time. Once in a blue moon.
Has it ever really hurt, really got to you? Has there been a case recently when you just thought, how could you do that? Yeah, well, one person in particular, I did think that for about 10 minutes, but then I just thought, you know what, anybody who does do something like that is just in a really dark place in their life. And in the end, I just feel sorry for them. Your skin must be very thick, I guess, now.
Thick and thin.
In most places.
Yeah.
You've been a mother for quite some time now, but you're a family now. There's the four of you. How does that feel?
It's great. It's great. Well, as you know, you have children. It's fabulous, and it gives you all kinds of solace and security, but on the other hand, it's incredibly exhausting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite happy that we're doing this interview at this time because I get out putting them to bed and that kind of stuff. It's like, you do baths, that's fine. I get out of that. But it must be quite different to having the four of you as opposed to just being yourself and Lourdes.
Yeah, oh yeah, the very big adjustments. Sharing is a big, because Guy has a very big personality and so do I. And, you know, just learning to live with someone after you've been single for a while or a single parent for a while is an adjustment. But he's a very independent person, and we both give each other lots of space. So,
and do the children have very big personalities as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it Lourdes or Lourdes? I never know how to say it.
Lourdes is that's the pronunciation of her baptismal name, but we call her Lola.
Can I call her Lola then?
Sure.
Okay, Lola. Yeah. How does she take to having a brother?
She loves it. Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't object at any time. She's been quite cool with it.
I think she did in the beginning. Yes, we caught her trying to strangle him a few times.
And did she ever give you grief? Because when they're a bit older, it's awful because they can actually articulate.
Now they're great. Yeah, now they get great, and she's really protective of him. But in the beginning, she was
You could tell she was a bit jealous because, look, she used to have me to herself too. And suddenly she had Guy and Rocco. So not suddenly, but I think that she had to go through an adjustment period of sharing me, for sure.
But now she's very well adjusted and very happy. And does he absolutely adore her? I bet he does.
Yeah, he looks at her like, oh, she's just some kind of star, you know what I mean? He's completely infatuated with her.
Before she takes his legs away from underneath him. How did you actually decide to live here in the UK? Or how did you decide to spend the rest of your lives together geographically?
Basically, Guy threatened to leave me, and then I said, okay.
Really?
Well, the thing is, I originally spent most of my time in New York, and Guy is just completely freaked out by New York. He just thinks it's too crazy and too mad. And if I had my druthers, I'd probably live there. Now, even though we have a place in LA, I only like to be there when we're working. It's not really a city to live in or bring children up in. So that leaves London by default because I don't want to live in LA. I mean, I don't want my kids to go to school there. And London's great. I mean, I love it here. You know, it just sort of happened that way. If Guy would have said, oh, I love New York, let's live there, who knows where we'd end up. But we're here.
Okay. So you did it actually come down to you sort of saying, right, okay, so I can either live my life on my own in New York or with the kids or...
Oh, God, like as if there was an option. No way. Guy really feels strongly about living here, and I don't really care. I love living in Europe. I think it's great. I love being near Paris and Rome, and I feel like in a way this is much more central to all the places I love in the world than America is. And I mean, who wants to be in New York right now anyways, right?
Yeah. No, that must be very strange for you being in this country, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really protective of my apartment, you know. I'm like, oh God, thank God I live uptown. But actually I had an office in the World Trade Center that got destroyed.
Wow.
So
you didn't lose anyone?
No, it's my business management company was in there, and the girl, my bookkeeper wasn't there, and her assistant, fortunately, went to work late that day.
Wow.
So she was really lucky.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been quite difficult with Lola's father, Carlos, as well. There were quite a few photographs of you, obviously going through a difficult time with Guy and trying to sort out what you were going to do, where you were going to be, and you kind of seemed quite tearful. Or did you just have dark glasses on because it looked cool?
Well, I don't know who made that story up. I have never gone through a difficult time with Guy. I think I was walking out of San Lorenzo and I was putting my hair back on my face. That night, I saw those pictures. We weren't having a fight. I was laughing. No fight. Don't know where that came from. Just someone trying to drum up a silly story.
You weren't a distraught woman, no.
For what reason? No.
Cool, that's right. So Carlos sees Lola whenever...
He sees her very often, yeah. In fact, he's coming here to visit her next week. When we're in Los Angeles, London, wherever, he comes to visit her.
Do you feel quite safe and secure living in this country as opposed to being in America? Is security ever an issue with you?
I won't be naive enough to say that I actually feel so terribly safe anywhere, because are we so terribly safe anywhere? I think we're fooling ourselves if we lull ourselves into a false sense of security. I mean, I'm sure this is how everyone was thinking that was living in New York a couple of months ago. So at this day and age, I don't know. We're safe. I don't know.
No, and also yourself as being a public figure, though, just worrying about people kind of
I think you always take your chances if you live in any big city. So.
What's Lola's music taste at the moment? I mean, you've mentioned the Spice Girls, obviously that's been and gone. That's history now. Her and my son have become quite obsessed with that Kylie Minogue track. Really?
Everybody yes. Yeah. But other than that, she hasn't been really listening to pop music either. Just mostly jazz and classical.
That's coming from you or Guy or just...
It's a combination of me and also the nannies. My son loves jazz. It's the only thing that puts him to sleep, believe it or not.
Okay, no, indulge him. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. What does she make of your job and your position and just the fact that, you're Madonna? Is she aware?
She's starting to become aware. I don't think she truly grasps the whole concept of fame and celebrity, but she makes fun of people. Like, when I was on tour and people would be screaming and yelling as I'd walk past like a barricade or something to go into a venue, then she'd make fun of them afterwards. Go, Madonna, we love you. And she would make fun of them, and it was very funny.
Yeah. Does she ever say that you're not cool or have an opinion about the clothes that you wear or anything like that?
No, she's not. She's very sweet. She says things when she likes them, but she's never said I wasn't cool. She doesn't watch TV. She doesn't read magazines, and I try to keep her away as much as possible from, pop culture and sensationalist journalism, because I don't know. I don't really think it's a very positive influence at this stage in our life.
No, probably a smart move. And as a family, what are your happiest times? When do you just have the best time, the best laugh?
I think when we're having a walk in the countryside somewhere, away from it all.
Yeah. Do you do any sports or anything like that?
Do I do any sports?
Shooting?
Shooting, yeah. Clay pigeon shooting.
Is it clay pigeon shooting?
Bird shooting, yeah. Pheasant shooting.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. Have you done pheasant shooting? Mm-hmm. Is it fun?
Yeah.
What do you get out of it?
It's hard. What do I get out of it? An appreciation of nature, paradoxically.
In what way?
Because when you're shooting, you're sort of standing in the forest for really long periods of time doing absolutely nothing. So you end up looking at the trees and looking at the sky and looking at the leaves on the ground, and you actually have a lot of time to meditate, and sort of you get into a meditative state.
And do you not? It doesn't bother you you're shooting birds?
Well, I eat
it's not
birds.
an issue.
I think, in fact, you have more of a respect for the things that you eat when you actually have to go through the process or see the process of killing them. I wear leather shoes. I eat fish. I eat chicken. I eat game. And so I think, in a way, I respect it more. I mean, it's quite violent, but it's very real, and I feel like there's more of a respect if you take the life of something that you're going to eat.
God, does it not make you feel sick when you actually shoot the bird and see it fall from the sky?
No.
Not at all? Had you experienced this before, Guy, or this is something that he's
No, I never
introduced you to?
knew about it until I met him. I asked him all the same questions you're asking me, but the thing is, I'm not a vegetarian, and I eat all of those things. And sort of most people are really removed from the fact that an animal died for their dinner. And I like knowing what I'm eating and being aware of the process. And it's much better for you.
What, eating meat?
To eating wild game than some processed thing you buy in the supermarket.
So the story wasn't true. You're telling me now the story wasn't true, that you were really upset before the wedding when Guy went off shooting and you nearly called the whole thing off? Okay. Just checking. Any more children? Do you think? Have you called it a day now?
What did I say in the beginning of the interview?
I can't remember now.
You obviously have too many children.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you stop.
No, never say never.
Oh, never say never. Yeah, because I did read that Guy was quite keen.
True, but how would I look in my shooting suit pregnant? Come on.
Well, don't you do it in the other season? Surely it's seasonal, so you can do it when it's...
That's true.
It's not the right season.
All right.
You can do it in the fishing season.
That's true.
Fishing's good for meditating, to getting into that state.
Yeah, that's next.
Have you done that?
But I'm keen on that.
That is good. That's really good.
Okay.
What's happening with Maverick at the moment, with the label? You're still looking for acts?
Sure. Maverick. We've got a record that's about to go gold. I don't know if you've heard of Michelle Branch.
No,
She's a singer. She's fabulous. Anyway, so we're very excited about that.
That's in the States.
Yeah.
She's an American singer. Yeah.
No, things are going good there.
Okay, you signed Muse.
Yep.
Yeah, they were playing on the show the other day in our live lounge. They're fantastic, very good.
Yeah, they're great.
He wants to work with Alicia Keys, so that's what you should try and hook up and make happen.
Okay.
All right. She's brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah, she's fabulous.
Yeah. So, are there any other artists you're looking at the moment?
No.
No. But Maverick is obviously still pretty important.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. When you did the tour, the Drowned World tour.
Oh, that thing.
And
that old thing.
Which was, I saw you at Brixton Academy, which was, it was such a good gig.
You mean you didn't see the tour?
No, I was heavily pregnant.
I don't really think I should speak to
I
you.
was heavily pregnant. I was having a baby.
Oh, come on. The things I've done whilst I've been heavily pregnant, that's not an excuse.
I think I was in labour when your first date started or something.
How old is your baby? Let's do the math.
Bugger. He's 6 months. I think that ties in. But Brixton was great.
Yeah.
It was really great. But how did you get yourself into show? It was 3 months. Wasn't Rocco 3 months old when you did that?
2 months, actually.
2 months. Okay. So that was a lot of pressure to put yourself under.
Yeah.
And was it hard?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, just as soon as I start rehearsing and jumping around, it's sort of... I started practicing yoga again, and it just, you know,
falls off.
Well,
ish.
Crawled off. Didn't exactly fall off.
Has everything gone back to normal now completely? Has your body changed?
Definitely, it changed. You know, well, you know, it never goes back to completely normal. Well,
Don't
maybe
have
it does.
three.
Not,
That's
you
what
know,
I'm
not
saying. No,
superhuman.
just don't have three.
I know. I have thought about that. Do I want to share my body with someone again?
It's awful. No, but 3 kids is great. We do something called the testimony. If you don't mind doing this, it's
depends on
just
what it
enough.
is.
Yeah, I know you can say no, but honestly, it's not that bad.
You stand on your head.
Yeah, you stand on your head. And John Malkovich did it for me the other day, which was just a bit of a lifetime. He was great. Have you met him?
I've worked with him.
Have you? On what?
I did a Woody Allen film with him a long, long time ago.
And you liked him?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
Yeah. Now, he was just talking about rap music, but the interview was kind of going along normally. And
How did that end up?
I think I asked him if he'd ever been in a music video, or if he wanted to be in a music video. He said, no, but I'd really like to direct Dr. Dre. And he was going, I love the Doctor and Snoop, and just listed all these rap stars. And he was so into his rap. It was like, blimey, I never would have thought that. So take that if you would. And what you have to do is test me. So if you can say, I promise to tell the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me, Joe. Do you promise?
But what am I holding my CD for?
Because it's your greatest hits, and that's the nearest thing that we have to the Bible in this room at the moment.
Oh, I see.
There's probably a Bible, actually, in the hotel.
No, this is a Philistine and spiritually free hotel.
Okay. So do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me, Joe.
So help me, Joe.
Thank you very much. We're doing the testimony now.
Is this like where you assume a godlike position?
I thought I had that already. No.
Okay.
Well, I'll try. It's kind of like scruples. It's that.
Oh, I see.
Okay. You're at a party and you see someone walking towards you with a tattoo of your face across their chest. What do?
Run.
Like the wind.
Yes.
You must have seen somebody with a tattoo on a part of their body.
I've seen many.
Of your face?
Mm-hmm. On all body parts.
That's nice. You're in the middle of performing a song at one of your concerts and your stage wig starts to slip. I bet this has happened as well.
It has indeed.
If you carry on the routine, it's going to fall off completely, so what do?
Whip it off and act like you meant to do it.
With style, okay. You go to a restaurant, you see Jacques Lu Cont, who's in your band, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Being wined and dined by Jennifer Lopez, and she's looking to put a band together herself. You know what she's after. What do? Would you call him up afterwards and just say, over my dead body? Or
absolutely not.
do you call her up and say...
No. I would just be really pleasant and say hi to both of them and smile and do nothing.
So you wouldn't mind, so you'd let her have him for the band?
No, well, I don't... When it comes to working with people, I don't feel territorial.
Okay. Not too precious. And Guy probably knows you better than anybody now. If he was here in this room, what would he say were your bad habits? You have to tell the truth. You promised to tell the truth. You sworn
My
on
bad
your
habits.
Hits.
Okay.
Hand on.
Yes, my
hits.
hand is on the Bible. What are my bad habits?
What does he hate?
I'm not sure I have any. What does he hate? He hates that that I remember everything and he forgets everything.
Okay. Which you remind him of constantly.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There must be things that he moans about.
I'm very punctual and he's very unpunctual. He doesn't like it when I wear see-through shirts.
Why? Macho.
Because he doesn't want anyone to see my raspberries.
Does he tell you to cover up?
Excuse me?
He tells you to cover up?
Indeed he does.
And do you?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Mostly. Unless I'm crunched for time.
Do you not say, look, I can dress how I like?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do. I have to pick and choose my battles.
Okay.
He doesn't want me to dress like an old slapper. Those are his words.
Did he dress you today in your brogues?
No, he didn't. I dressed myself.
Very nice.
I don't need any help.
And what would you rather win, an Oscar for Best Original Song or an Oscar for Best Actress? Which would mean most to you?
Best Actress, because I've won so many awards for music. So, yeah.
Okay. You see an estate for sale, which if you buy it would make you Lord and Lady Ritchie. You've got the money. Would you go for it?
That's all you have to do is buy an estate to become a lady?
It's that easy sometimes.
No, it isn't.
I believe it is.
Is it?
You can buy anything these days.
Oh, I like it when people call me Lady Ritchie anyways. Do I have to buy an estate?
I suppose you save the money then and you just call yourself Lady Richie.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever spent on an item of clothing? We do this with everybody. Macy Gray is up there with £10,000 at the moment.
An item of clothing? Oh, yeah. Is a bag an item of clothing? Like
well, that'll do, an accessory, yeah.
Yeah.
How much?
12.
12. She wins. She's in the league. Fantastic. 12. Was it nice? I hope it was bloody nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. The thing is, that's what it cost, but I got a bit of a discount.
Cheapskate.
But it was really expensive still anyway. It was ridiculous.
What was it like? What did it have on it?
It's just an aubergine coloured alligator bag. It's gorgeous.
You better name check the designer now.
Fendi.
Fendi. Okay.
Yeah, they're obscenely expensive.
You could eat them.
Yeah, but I figure that's the kind of thing that will last forever, so I can,
You pass it down. Lola will get it.
Yeah.
She'll be sick in it, or no, Bob will be sick in it. It's Lola's sports day, and she wants you to run the parents' race because she's going to do that. She's going to say, Mum, go on, you've got to be in the sports race. But obviously there are people there with cameras. But she's pleading, and you've got to do it.
I'd do it. Definitely.
Good. Outside of your children and your family, what's your most precious possession? Is there something that you value more than anything?
My paintings. But I have a few paintings.
Are you presenting the Turner Prize? Is that true?
Yeah.
That's good. When's that? In February?
December 9th.
Okay.
December 9th.
December 9th?
Yeah.
And what's that involve you doing?
Showing up at a cocktail party and saying a few words, then announcing who the winner is.
Did that mean quite a lot to you that they asked you to do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And are you still collecting? What's your latest thing that you bought?
The latest thing I got is a Gursky photograph. He's a German photographer who's fabulous.
Okay, and what's it of?
It's a picture. It's an outdoor picture. It's of people fishing on the bank of a river. Believe it or not, it's quite good.
There you go. Dolce and Gabbana both came to you separately, individually. Sat you down and said, "We're splitting up. I'm thinking of going it alone, and I just want to be your exclusive designer." What would you do?
As if.
Really?
I don't want anyone to be my exclusive designer. I belong to no one.
Your own woman. Okay, and final question this bit. You're at a party one night. Everyone's had quite a lot to drink. Vinny tries it on. Vinny Jones tries it on.
Tries it on?
Yeah.
Is that like hits on you?
Yeah, hits on you. Okay, Vinny Jones hits on you. Do you A, tell Guy and get him to sort it out? Do you B, definitely don't tell Guy? Or C, grab him by the balls and squeeze very hard?
1 and 3 is too dangerous, so I'll have to opt for 2.
A guy would go ballistic, I imagine.
Yes, and Vinny Jones is bigger than me, so how could I grab him by the balls? So I'm not stupid.
Yeah, but I bet you've got nails that you could
I have
dig
no
in
nails.
nicely. No?
No.
Bitten?
No, I play guitar, so I have no nails.
Of course. Okay, so you just wouldn't tell Guy and you just let it pass? Maybe an evil stare would work.
No, that's not my style.
No.
Dismissive is my style.
One more thing. Were you surprised about the outcry from people about the tickets price, the price of tickets? People were saying it was £80, I think.
I'm so worth it.
Perfect. All right, thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.